After years of conflict, Ukraine is faced with the daunting task of rebuilding a nation. But with so much destruction comes an opportunity for massive construction. In this video, we'll explore the economic potential of rebuilding Ukraine, the challenges faced by the country, and the partnerships and initiatives being put in place to make this vision a reality. Welcome to the rebuilding of Ukraine, the world's largest construction site. Hello and welcome to Build to Innovate. Today we're going to take a deep dive into the rebuilding of Ukraine, a country torn apart by conflict and destruction. The war between Ukraine and Russia has left behind a trail of devastation, including obliterated homes, schools, hospitals, factories, and critical energy facilities. The rebuilding process is a mammoth task, with early cost estimates ranging from $138 billion to $750 billion. But amidst the profound human tragedy, there is a glimmer of hope and opportunity. Private equity giants from New York, German concrete plant operators, fuel cell manufacturers from Denmark, and timber producers from Austria are just some of the businesses positioning themselves for a possible multi-billion-dollar gold rush. In fact, the Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce is calling it the world's largest construction site. In this video, we'll explore the efforts being made to rebuild Ukraine, including an agreement between the Ukrainian government and JP Chase to advise on economic recovery and rebuilding efforts. We'll also examine how the European Union is working to help Ukraine pay for the reconstruction and recovery, and the potential for frozen Russian assets to be used for this purpose. So let's get started and take a closer look at the race to rebuild Ukraine. For over a year now, Ukraine has been embroiled in a war with Russia. The conflict has resulted in the destruction of hundreds of thousands of homes, schools, hospitals, and factories, as well as critical energy facilities and miles of roads, rail tracks, and seaports. The human tragedy is profound, and the country faces an enormous challenge in rebuilding its infrastructure. As the war rages on, the task of rebuilding becomes increasingly apparent. Early estimates put the cost of rebuilding the physical infrastructure at anywhere from $138 billion to $750 billion, a staggering sum that has caught the attention of businesses around the world. In fact, the Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce has dubbed the reconstruction effort the world's largest construction site, with thousands of businesses hoping to benefit from the massive undertaking. Despite the conflict with Russia, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has likened the rebuilding effort to the Marshall Plan, the US program that provided aid to Western Europe after World War II. While the situation in Ukraine is different, the comparison highlights the magnitude of the rebuilding task at hand. The reconstruction of Ukraine presents both altruistic impulses and entrepreneurial vision, but also rank opportunism. While the human tragedy cannot be ignored, the massive scale of the rebuilding effort represents an economic opportunity that cannot be denied. In the following sections, we will examine the efforts underway to rebuild Ukraine and the challenges the country faces as it seeks to emerge from conflict and begin anew. If you are liking this content so far and find it helpful, please go ahead and hit the like button, click the notification bell, and subscribe to our channel to get more great content from us. In response to the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, the European Union has set up a working group to examine whether frozen Russian assets can be used to fund the country's reconstruction. The group's purpose is to conduct a comprehensive legal, financial, economic, and political analysis to assess the possibility of using frozen Russian assets for this purpose. This analysis includes obtaining a clearer picture of where Russian state-owned assets are located and their value, as well as assessing the potential risks and challenges involved in using these funds. One of the challenges of rebuilding Ukraine is the significant cost of the project. According to a senior EU official, the estimated cost of reconstruction was already high in September, and the ongoing fighting is only expected to have raised the price tag further. Despite this, the European Union and Western allies have frozen more than $300 billion in Russian central bank assets, which could potentially be used to rebuild Ukraine. This highlights the significant role that frozen Russian assets could play in supporting the country's reconstruction. In addition to exploring the possibilities of using frozen Russian assets, the European Union is also planning a 10th package of sanctions against Russia. This package would target 11 billion euros worth of goods, using trade bans and export controls on technology. These plans demonstrate the European Union's commitment to holding Russia accountable for its actions in Ukraine and supporting the country's reconstruction efforts. While the rebuilding of Ukraine is a daunting task, many businesses are positioning themselves for what could be a multi-billion-dollar gold rush. For example, Latvian roofing companies, South Korean trade specialists, fuel cell manufacturers from Denmark, and timber producers from Austria, among others, are all hoping to capitalize on the opportunities that come with the rebuilding effort. Despite the tragedy that has befallen Ukraine, the rebuilding effort does offer potential economic benefits, including job creation and opportunities for businesses. The need for reconstruction also presents an opportunity for entrepreneurs and investors to get involved in the rebuilding process and help shape the future of Ukraine. Of course, the human toll of the conflict in Ukraine cannot be overlooked, and the need for altruistic impulses to help rebuild the country is just as important as the entrepreneurial vision. The rebuilding of Ukraine is not just an economic opportunity, but a chance to help restore hope and stability to a region that has suffered for far too long. In addition to the vital infrastructure projects needed to rebuild Ukraine's economy and infrastructure, there are also countless cultural treasures that have been destroyed in the ongoing conflict. From centuries-old churches to Soviet-era monuments, these architectural landmarks represent a significant part of Ukraine's rich cultural heritage. Notable buildings that have been destroyed or damaged include the Donetsk Opera and Ballet Theatre, the historic St. Michael's Golden Domed Monastery in Kiev, and the once Grand Donetsk International Airport. These buildings not only serve as symbols of Ukraine's past, but also represent opportunities for tourism and economic growth in the future. Rebuilding these landmarks will require skilled architects, engineers, and craftsmen, as well as significant funding and resources. However, restoring these structures is crucial not only for preserving Ukraine's cultural heritage, but also for providing a sense of hope and renewal for the Ukrainian people. In this video, we highlighted the efforts of Ukraine to rebuild its infrastructure and economy after years of conflict. We discussed the partnership between Ukraine and JP Chase, which aims to attract private investment to the country, as well as the European Union's working group, which is examining the possibility of using frozen Russian assets to fund reconstruction efforts. We also explored the economic opportunities presented by the rebuilding of Ukraine, with businesses from around the world positioning themselves for a potential multi-billion-dollar gold rush. President Zelensky has compared this effort to the Marshall Plan, highlighting the potential benefits for job creation and economic growth. However, the task of rebuilding Ukraine is a complex and costly one, with ongoing fighting and political instability adding to the challenges. Nevertheless, the potential benefits for the people of Ukraine and businesses around the world cannot be ignored. As responsible global citizens, it is important for us to stay informed about the situation in Ukraine and to support efforts to rebuild the country. By doing so, we can help to bring about a brighter future for the people of Ukraine and contribute to global economic growth and stability. Thanks for watching this video about the rebuilding of Ukraine. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content on innovative projects from around the world. What do you think about Ukraine as the world's largest construction site? If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. We love hearing from our viewers. Until next time, keep building to innovate.